What's up guys, Swole Sneakerhead here to bring you the first of a new series of videos that we are going to be going over investing in some sneakers, potentially streetwear, but today we're going to be focusing on some sneakers. Before we get started guys, if you haven't already, go to our YouTube page, Soul Supply Co. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check out some of our other videos. Obviously we have the sneaker news videos that come out every week, as well as live cop videos on a lot of these, manual drops, as well as, sneaker bot drops. So be sure to check that out. Also, please throw me a follow over on Twitter at Swole Sneakerhead, SWOLESNKRHEAD, Swole Sneakerhead, a little bit abbreviated. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into what we're talking about today, and that is going to be Yeezy Slides. Now, as we know, Yeezy Slides usually restock every 1 to 3 months, usually 2 to 3 months. I believe the last time was in late June or early July, and then we had them obviously the beginning of this month with the Glow Green, the Pure, and the Soot restocking. So obviously these will restock randomly. We don't know what colors ahead of time. I believe we had the Pure a couple of times now, because I know last restock I got the Pure and I also got the Resin. And as you can see, these originally dropped in April. So it was April, May, June. Yeah, so it was July and then August and then September. So it was April, July, and now September that they restocked. So I would imagine that either late November or early December we will see another restock and likely a new colorway or colorways dropping. So what we're going to look at today is what pairs you should be looking at in terms of resale value, which ones you can hold on to and which ones you should maybe stay away from. First and foremost, let's just go over some of these colorways. So we're familiar with the Pure, the Soot, the Resin have all been restocking a few times. The Inflame Orange have only dropped once, and that was in June, and they have gone up quite a bit since then. And I like using GOAT just because it kind of gives you a better visual here of the sizes and whatever for the color that do well. They're about the same across all slides, but I just thought that the visual on here was a bit better. We're also going to obviously talk about like target price to buy it at, target price to resell, where you should look for these to buy and sell them, and all that kind of stuff. But in general, we're going to be talking about buying Yeezy Slides in bulk, holding them for 30 to 60 days, and then flipping them. So right now, the ones that I would target are going to be the Inflame Orange, and if you can find these around $130 to $150, that would be ideal. Obviously, that one size you saw is small. I'm going to use my size 11, which is way more common. If you can find these, I mean, obviously the lower price the better, which is why I'm going to highly recommend that you find a bulk seller for these and don't try to pick them out individually unless you can find individual listings that are, low priced. But as you can see, these have flown up in price since the recent drop. And I say that like flown up because a lot of these other colorways, like let's see the Pure for example, these just restocked, and in size 11, $70 less. So it's pretty significantly lower than the Inflame Orange. So again, obviously these colorways like the Pure, the Soot, the Resin did not restock in this most recent restock, but it did in July, and that's when I got mine. The Core have not restocked since April. The Bone have not restocked, I believe, since 2019. Desert Sand since 2019. Earth Brown, which is kind of like the Soot, 2019. And then the Resin originally dropped back in 2019. So there's only a few colorways, obviously. I don't know why it's not showing the Green Glow on here. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So Green Glow were probably one of the most, I want to say, upsetting or disappointing pairs that came out, because they literally called them the Green Glow, but then these don't glow in the dark. And everybody, including me, I would assume, I mean, I definitely was assuming that these were going to be a glow in the dark pair, and that would have, the resale would have been ridiculous if they were actually glow in the dark. But as you can see right now, even in bigger sizes, they're very low, like almost as low as the Core and all those other ones, and the Pure. So this is my main target for right now, is saying go for the green glow right now. That is going to be the main one that you're going to want to look to buy in bulk. They were pretty readily available. They weren't too tough to cop. It was a very hard release from a botting perspective. A lot of weird stuff happened, and because of shipment delays, it wasn't like the most normal drop. And I know that there's still stock to come, which they may hold off for the 2 months and just wait and drop them all at once, or they'll slowly restock like we've been seeing on some sites. Even some sites like Kith, that would have been affected by Hurricane Ida and had to push back a few releases, they likely will still have stock coming in at some point. So keep an eye out for that to cop at retail. But I would look to buy these green glow if you can get them under 130. I mean, that would be fantastic. Let's see. Let's go to eBay right now and see what kind of prices we can get on the glow green pairs. We're gonna do adult because we don't want any kid sizes. We're not gonna try to flip them. Yeah, I mean, guys, there's even though it's it's a first bid or whatever, like they're listing these very low right now. You can make a best offer on this for 130, 140 and haggle with the people. What I'm going to show you is how to find bulk buyers bulk sellers on a site like this. So you can do this for literally any of these listings, but let's say this one, because this guy has a few pairs. Just click on this, go to the seller information. I'm going to open in a new tab. Go to the store and just look. He has a ton of pairs for sale. You know what I mean? So even if you're not buying in bulk straight Yeezy Slides, if you're going to buy anything from somebody and you're looking to bulk buy and resell, go to their page, see what else they have, and then send them a message and try to haggle with some other stuff. Because if you buy one thing, then you're likely to get a better deal on some other things. Like he's selling bulk of these Jordan 4 Lightning, Jordan 1 Lucky Green. Like, again, you're gonna have to do a little more research to make, to see the prices and this and that. We're not gonna go over all that, but in general, that's the easiest way to just find bulk sellers. Look for somebody that has like literally any of these for sale, and then just go to their page. I mean, this one's obviously a less known page, but let's see what he has. Nothing. Okay. And again, there is an authenticity guarantee in this and that. But if you can find a seller with, more feedback than 7, even though it's 100% positive, you're going to want to try to find those sellers as well. And this is really the easiest way to build a relationship and find bulk sellers for the future. Because if this guy gets multiple pairs every release or whatever, then you can hit him up and just, say, hey, what did you get from this release or this and that, and be one of the first ones to make offers so that you can get better deals. And because imagine from his perspective, if he's buying these pairs, similar to me in bulk or whatever at a release, and then somebody already hits him up right after saying, oh hey, yeah, I'm looking for a size 11 in this, size 12 whatever, they're going to be much more inclined to make a deal. And generally, directly following a release, the market is usually in the buyer's favor because people are undercutting as sellers. Again, do preliminary research just to see like what that looks like and look at the trends, because let's go see the Inflame Orange. So I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about with trends. We're going to do a 3-month window, and these dropped on June 21st. So this is pre-sale June 21st right here, and they dipped $40. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. June 21st is right here, release date 2/23. They dipped $40. I'm sorry, $30. But that's what I'm saying is directly following a release as a buyer, that's when you're going to want to be on the prowl, like really looking for these sellers. That's why you're going to want to go, like, if you're really interested in being, a legitimate, bulk buyer reseller, you just have to do the groundwork. You just have to reach out to these people and say, hey, what do you have? What price are you looking to move them at? Try to find people maybe closer to your general location, because that'll make things easier. Obviously, if you can find people in your own city, then you can even go and meet up, and as opposed to shipping. But yeah, as you can see, they dipped for 2, 3 days, 4 days. It's still pretty low. And then within, what was it, the 21st? Within a month, they completely recovered back to the pre-sale prices of $225 plus. So they're already back up. So even if you bought them at that dip directly following the release, you'll have them in hand by this point and be able to sell by July. And even if you're worried about a potential restock in August or September, you know, let's see, August 21st, which is 2 months after, which there could be a potential re-release of these, they're at $250. You're making money. Now let's see, now they're still about $250. Obviously, a pair like this is going to cap out at some point, but I don't want to say the longer you hold, the more you're going to make, because as you can see, it does kind of level out at some point a couple months after. But as you can tell, directly following the release is when you want to strike as a buyer, and then you want to sell about 30 days after once the market recovers. That's the general plan, like to break it down in the most simplest terms possible. Let's look at an older pair that dropped, like the let's see the Bone. So the Bone original release back in 2019. So this is quite a while ago, almost 2 years ago at this point. So at the beginning of this year, they were at $87. Now that was about a month after they had released at this point. Now, since they haven't restocked, they're up to over we'll just say 480, 500. They're in the 500 ballpark in a year. You know, so let's see, that's so January to January they went up. They went up about $300 over the course of a year. So that's why I'm saying, like, the longer you hold them, they could keep going up or they could level out. Now the Inflame Orange, let's go back to that real quick, because they've only been out for a couple of months and they're already reaching that kind of resale value, sitting at, you know, 220, 240 or whatever. What is this shit, StockX? Come on. They really have Perimeter X on StockX now. Anyway. Inflame Orange already up in the 200 plus, and they've only been off the market for under 3 months now. So imagine another 3 months goes by and these don't restock. I would expect them to be closer to $300. You know what I mean? And if they don't restock for another 3 to 6 months after that, they're only going to keep going up, because as obviously, like, basic supply and demand will tell you, as the supply on the market goes down and the demand either stays the same or increases in some cases, the price is going to go up. You know, people still want these. I personally want these. And anytime that Yeezy Slides restocks, you know what people do, including me? They go and type in on StockX and go Yeezy Slides. They look at all the available pairs, and then they in their mind are like, all right, which ones do I really want to buy? Yada, yada, yada. Take all that into consideration. Let's look at another older pair. So let's say I think this was like literally the first one. I think the Desert Sand was maybe the first pair to ever release. So that it's going to be an outlier in terms of, you know, how high the resale value is. It's like the very first ever, like, you know, foam runner or this and that. Like, they're going to be a little bit of outliers. But let's see the Core. I believe the Core restocked 2 months ago with the July restock. They initially dropped March, they first dropped April, and then they restocked July, and then they did not restock in this September restock. So let's take a look real quick. 6 months. They came out in April. This is pre-sale right here. This is pre-sale, pre-sale, pre-sale. Dropped right here. This is April 26th is when they released. They went down to 200, 190, 194. This is within a week after they released. So pairs are coming in right here. This is where all the pairs are getting in. People are undercutting. And then after that, steady incline back up. Steady incline back up. That's why I'm saying, again, I don't want to give financial advice, but the trends show that directly following these releases is the time to buy if you're looking to hold for 30 to 60 plus days. So again, they drop right here. This is the day before, the 25th. The day after, the 27th, they're already down $18. They dip a little bit more, 200, 194 a week afterwards. So if you can, again, if you have those connections where you're reaching out to these people every release saying, hey, I know this release just went down. What did you get any pairs? Whatever. You can send that message out to 60 people on eBay. There's no harm in that. There's no harm in reaching out, and maybe half of them reply, and maybe 2 or 3 of them reply and say, hey, I have this bulk list, like take a look at it. And then you can build relationships like that. And then when the next restock happens, then you have a little bit of a plug ready to say, hey, I got X amount of money, like how many pairs do you have? I'm looking to buy. And you'll be able to buy them because, listen, they're buying these slides at like $60 retail. Even if you're paying for like Shopify shipping, you're getting for like, let's say somehow with tax and shipping, it's $90. If you're offering them $180, $170 the day after the release to buy these, take them off their hands, they're going to want to take that instead of trying to fight with everybody on the open market to sell them for $190, $200. They're just going to take the $30 less, get their money back, and reinvest it because they're bulk buyers or whatever. They're people that are sneaker buying that need that constant cash flow in to keep buying more stuff. So understand that part of the market, and you can literally, like, it's like you're doing them a favor, but realistically, they're making a good return, and that's what you get when you can buy shoes at retail, when you can cop on these really tough releases. That's just the benefit that you get. But even for you, if you can find a bulk buyer that after a release like this would say, yeah, I got you for $170 a pair, and you hold them for 30 days and you sell them for $220 a pair, you're making $50 a pair when all you had to do was have the bread. All you had to do was pay for it, pay the bulk seller, and you're making $50 a pair 30 to 60 days later with doing no work to actually get the pair at retail, which is the hardest part. So understand that. Obviously, if you have any questions on any of this stuff, I know I'm going a little bit quick and I'm just kind of rambling through it, but that's like kind of my mindset with it and like how I think most people should approach it. Let's see the Pure. Let's see the Pure, because I know I got these. So they initially stocked in April. They restocked in July. I got them in July. I'm wearing my resin right now. I got the Pure over in the closet. By the way, if you guys don't have Yeezy Slides, they are super comfortable. I literally wear mine every single day. Another small point, they do say to go a full size up. I'm 11 in everything, and I got 11s in these. The resin feels like it's a 12. The Pure feels like it's an 11. They're a little bit tighter, but both of them fit for an 11, and they don't do half sizes. So take that with what you will when it comes to buying them, because if you're actually going to buy them to wear a pair or something like that, just like consider that. But anyway, let's check out the trends on these, because these have restocked now 3 times, I believe. So if any of them were going to take like a hit in the resale value, it would definitely be these. Initial drop date 4/26. That is right here. So April 25th, they drop 195 the next day. They're staying low 200s. Restock again. So after that second restock, they took even more of a dip. But they're still climbing up, guys. That's what I'm saying. If you can buy, I know it sounds like such a cliche fucking thing to say, buy the dip. This isn't stocks where it's like you're guessing when the dip's gonna happen or like how deep it's going to get. Like the volatility is not it shows percentage volatility or whatever. You can use your eyes and look and see that there's not much volatility in this market. There's steady increases followed by decreases when they restock, and then steady increases again through to the next restock. Even at this, even if you were to buy at this point at one, like again, these are StockX prices. If it's 180, 190 on StockX and you reach out to a bulk seller asking for around 170, you'll probably be able to make a deal, because again, they're still making a good amount of money on that, and if they've been holding them for that long, they're going to want to get that money back so they can put into new stuff, because in their mind, they're going to have to hold again. They're going to have to keep holding for a chance at maybe 30 or 40 more dollars, whereas they can just sell to you at 170, get that off their inventory, make that $100 a pair that they just made, and then keep moving forward, as opposed to saying, oh no, I'm going to hold for another 3 months and try to get another $30. No, they'll just let you get that $30. So go find these bulk sellers, say, hey, the price is whatever right now, I'll buy it at like 170 for X amount of pairs, and then look, if you were to just buy it at this dip right here, 170, 180, and then you hold for, what's that, end of June, so let's say July, August, September, right before this release, I mean, if you sold them in August, which would have been like between a 30 and 60 day hold, $230, $235. So you're making $60 a pair for holding them for 30 to 60 days. That seems pretty good to me, to be honest. This is why we'll probably talk about it in a future video, but Nike Dunk Lows have become very popular to buy in bulk and resell. And I know most of my bulk buyers are constantly asking about Nike Dunks because it's a low retail product, low retail, item that you can get, and it just constantly appreciates. You know what I mean? A lot of these things don't appreciate unless they do like massive restocks, which doesn't usually happen. And on something like a Yeezy Slide, you can plan for that. We just had one in the beginning of September, so September, October, November, we're going to have another one in November likely. So you can plan for that and sell at the end of October before they even really announce all the colorways, and you'll be good. We've gone through pretty much all this. I think you can get the idea of what I'm talking about here. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse with like showing you the trends and stuff like that, but that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, on something like a Yeezy Slide, your target sizes are going to want to be larger sizes, especially because they recommend that people upsize on these. So that's why you can tell literally as the size goes up, the price just continues to go up, for the most part. But excuse me. Like I'm considering buying a couple of these right now because, listen, like, it was upsetting that it didn't actually glow in the dark, but at the end of the day, the Yeezy Slide as a whole, just a silhouette, people will pay a minimum $170 for it. You know what I mean? Like, in the buyer's mind, in the typical buyer's mind that you would be selling to after you buy in bulk, because you're ideally going to buy in bulk and then sell probably individually. I mean, yeah, sure, if you can find another bulk buyer to sell to and make a profit, that's great, but most likely you're going to be buying in bulk and then selling individually on places like Facebook, eBay, Goat, Discord, if you have some connections on there. So even if you just want to test it, guys, even if you want to test it and buy one right now and just see how it goes with reselling, even if you're new to this, you're scared, you don't want to put down $1,000 or whatever to buy 10 pairs of Yeezy Slides or some shit like that, buy one, go through the process, see how it is, or at the very least, like, write down have like a spreadsheet and say like, okay, I would have bought this Yeezy Slide Glow Green at this price in this size on this date, and then just track it and see what happens over the next 30 to 60 days. See if you would have made money and maybe you wouldn't have. Obviously, it always comes down to being able to actually sell the item, but the market on these is pretty hot. There's high volume in the Yeezy Slides market as a whole, and I don't expect that to slow down, especially when they're constantly doing restocks and reminding people like, hey, Yeezy Slides are coming out again. Yeezy Slides, and then every time they mention that and there's another restock, the whole market is going to become more, is going to have more volume, whether it's a pair that's restocking or whether they haven't restocked in months. People are just going to want it. People are going to see them and want to buy them, right? I don't want to forget anything. So after you do, let's say you do make a bulk purchase, really the same places you're going to be looking for those bulk buyers are the same places you're going to be selling. Now, personally, I recommend selling on eBay. eBay is great because they have this authenticity guarantee now. So what you're going to do is if you do sell on there, you're going to ship it to a authenticator. And I don't know, I'm not 100% sure if they repackage it or not, but I've only had one instance where I send out a pair of shoes and they actually got damaged in the process and they got returned. Every other time I've sent out shoes for authentication, it's a very smooth process. And generally, right after they authenticate it, you get paid out if you use eBay immediate payments. And if you have questions about setting up your seller profile on eBay, DM me about that because I have like, I don't know, like 70 references or whatever and whatever. But I've been using eBay a lot, pretty much. There's no fees on shoes sold over $100. Plus, they have that, eBay money back guarantee. So it's easy for a buyer to come on here, either make an offer to you or just buy it outright and then get the pair with, not having to worry about like, is it real or not. And the even easier part of selling on eBay, which a lot of people don't do, but like you can just post pictures like this. This is generally what I do. I just find stock, like not stock photos, but like I find the official images and just post that because it's authenticity guaranteed. You don't really need to see like little details or whatever. Like, yeah, like if you want to take a nice picture like this and put your little fucking thing in the corner, like, yeah, go for it. But it's super easy to list on eBay is pretty much what I'm saying. I would say, like, say you're trying to sell it like 200, like you want to list at eBay on eBay at 200, and then maybe list it on your local like Facebook Marketplace at like 210 or maybe less. So it just depends. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of meetups, especially when eBay makes things so easy. Like, I'm not trying to coordinate some time with somebody, go drive out there, have to deal with that. Like, it's so much easier to just, you know, ship it through eBay and they take care of all of it, and then you get your payment quick and this and that. So I would highly recommend eBay. Goat, pretty much the same thing. It really just depends, like, you know, your fees and stuff like that. eBay's going to, well, eBay and Facebook will be your lowest you know, fees marketplace and stuff like that. But even if you sell on StockX or Goat, like, depending on your seller level, you should still be able to profit off of a flip using those marketplaces. But I would 100% go with eBay first. And even if you get the shoe, like, let's say you pay like $160 and the market's still sitting around $160, just throw it up there for whatever you're trying to sell it at, and eventually when pairs start getting bought off below you, they'll get to your listing will start getting more attention once, you know, the other pairs are sold off and gone, which is fine. I don't have much else other than that. I don't want to give you like, I don't want to give like specific sizes and pairs to buy. I kind of went through that with all of these trends, and you can kind of see for yourself, like, which ones do you want to invest in. Like, investing like the Inflame Orange is going to cost you more up front than like the Glow Green, but they could potentially have, you know, a more stable market, a higher, you know, potential ceiling. If I was going to recommend one pair to get right now, I would get the Glow Green. They're in the gutter right now. They're getting no respect because people are pissed off that they don't actually glow in the dark, which I totally understand, but the market will rebound. They're flashy, you know what I mean? Like, people like this, people like that kind of, like, I was going to buy these just because, you know, it's the neon green or whatever. Like, I think they're cool. They are kind of similar to the resin, but I'm telling you right now, wearing the resin, it's not going to look the same. So I would say focus on the green glow. If you can get like the pure, even like the pure might keep restocking, so that's where you need to just take into consideration like the price you're buying it at and where you would need to sell it at to make your money before the next restock. So those more basic colorways like the pure, the soot, the core, they could restock way more than something like the Glow Green, than the Inflame Orange, than the Desert whatever, the Bone. So it seems like generally what they're doing is they're coming out with 2 restock items and then 1 new pair every time they restock. So I would imagine they're going to do something similar. And usually like the ones like the Glow Green and Flame Orange, because they're that odd one out that hasn't ever restocked or came out before, I would expect them to be the ones that don't restock in the future. I would expect that these basic colors like the pure, like the earth tone colors, like the pure, soot, core, all those ones, like they're likely going to restock more than something like this orange colorway or the green, like this Glow Green colorway, just because they're more abstract colors. So again, keep that in mind too. But yeah, guys, so real quick, we'll just run back through it. You need to, you know, do the footwork to find your bulk sellers. Look on Facebook Marketplace, look on eBay, look on, I don't think you look on Goat at people's pages, but I would look at mainly, you know, Discord servers that have a marketplace, and I can show you a couple of them. That is going to be, like Tidal, it's going to be Botmart. There's definitely more that I'm not in, but we'll look at them real quick. So this is Botmart, and it's primarily for buying and reselling, you know, sneaker bots, but they do have a, where is it? Shoes, willing to buy, willing to sell. So physical goods you can sell in here. And as you can see, like, people are posting, you know, it would be so easy to just DM these people and just try to, you know, create connections with them and try to see, you know, what kind of deals you can work out. I post my shit in here all the time and I get messages constantly about it, you know, so There's Botmart. These are all, I believe Botmart's still free to join. You can it's free to join. It's not closed off or like private or anything like that. But Tidal, I believe it's like $3 a month to get full access. But they have the same thing, and there's so many users, and I wonder if it shows the user count. There's so many people in here. So there's 97,000 people that are in Tidal. And then if you go down, physical sell, as you can see, like, people are taking advantage of this, you know, not taking advantage of it, but they're utilizing it because it works. You can just either type it out like this, you can make a little picture like this guy or whatever, and you can post this in here like every day, you know, just constantly refresh that post in there. If we scroll up far enough, we'll probably see one of mine somewhere. But yeah, so this is a great place to find bulk sellers as well. And a lot of these guys that are on Discord will usually run sneaker bots too. So if you can make a connection with them and either, you know, sign up for like, you know, auto checkout service and just pay them like that, or whether you just wait till after the release and bulk buy from them, all options, all good options too. And yeah, other than that, the last thing I need to say is just you need to vet these sellers. So the main thing you're going to want to do is just ask them for references. Generally, people have references on their Twitter. It'll look something like this. It'll just say, like, you know, legit check or whatever. And then if you see, this is mine, you know, rented him Kodai because I rented a bot from somebody, ran auto checkout slots for a bunch of people. And you should be able to tell pretty easily reading the references if they're legitimate, if they're like, you know, if it's just a bunch of random people or random accounts that just say legit, like that might be sketchy. But like a lot of these people that I dealt with will say exactly, you know, what we've done. You know, people that like I rent bots from and stuff like that. People that I get pairs for, you know. So you should be able to tell pretty easily if they're legitimate. Obviously, if you're not sure, you can DM me. I'll try to help, but there is ways to middleman stuff. And even if you are buying, like, even if you're kind of like scared to send money to somebody, use like PayPal or something like that where you'll be able to dispute it if the product doesn't come in. That's why I first recommend that you just use eBay, because it's pretty easy to dispute something like this through eBay, because there'll be record of them shipping it to the authenticator, and if the authenticator shipped it to you, so it's kind of hard to lie about, like, if they just don't send you anything, if they sent you, like, you know, some random ass shit, you know what I mean, or they sent you fakes, you know, it's much easier to just deal with it through eBay. But I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, please drop a comment down below. Give this video a like. I'm definitely gonna start doing more of these, because there are some interesting ways you can make money on shoes other than just relying on getting them for retail, because it's becoming increasingly more competitive, more difficult to get these pairs for retail. I know that firsthand, and it's also very expensive to even get them, you know, for retail, to pay for the bots, the servers, the proxies, all that kind of shit. So this is definitely, like, if you're somebody that just has like a couple $1,000s that you'd like to just, you know, flip it into something, and it's, you know, I feel like this market's pretty easy to understand and track, and there's not a ton of risk. Because I think at the very least, like, even if you're buying Yeezy Slides at like 140 or whatever, like, at the absolute least, you'll be able to get your money back out of it if you absolutely have to. So do that groundwork, find those sellers, create connections, focus on these main marketplaces like eBay and Facebook, follow trends. You know, if you really want to do your homework, you know, create a spreadsheet, track, you know, certain pairs that you're looking into that you think, oh, maybe this will be a good investment, maybe that will be. Do it for 30 and 60 days. Even if you miss out on that one investment, it'll just get you better prepared for the next one, because there's constantly hype shoes coming out that people will be able to buy and resell and shit. So yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for joining me. I know it's a long ass video, but there's a lot of information in here, and I hope you guys you know, learn something from this. And yeah, be sure to hop on our Discord server. I'll drop a link down in the description. If you have any questions, yeah, drop a comment down below. DM me in Discord, Swole Sneakerhead. Please, guys, go to the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you haven't already, drop me a follow on Twitter. I usually post all of our success and stuff like that on there. Been a little dry recently. Not insanely, but we're getting back to cooking full steam, and yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Swole Sneakerhead signing off until the next one. I will talk to you all soon. Peace.